You are listening to Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson.
Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast, and today is the Thursday podcast. It is July 30th, 2026, and if you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to youtube.com/hellocupcakeitsme to check out the YouTube channel that is updated every Wednesday and Saturday. Also follow me on TikTok for TikTok Tuesdays, where I do a little 10-minute spiel over there, and then head on over to hellocupcakeitsme.com to check out the blog, and follow me on all the other social medias, and go to go to cdsthebook.com and check out my book and get a copy of it for yourself. So, how the hell is everyone doing? I am actually doing fairly okay considering the last 48 hours. We are officially out of Mercury retrograde. It ended on the 27th. However, we still have a week of being in Mercury shadow, and then we have another Mercury retrograde coming up in November, December. So that's going to be interesting. And I don't know if y'all follow the woo-woo astrology, witchy, spiritual hoopla of the planetary alignments and retrogrades and all that other hoopla do, but, well, I kind of do, and I did not actually know that this retrograde was taking place in the early part of July. It typically takes place in August and September. So it caught me completely off guard, and I have just been an emotional piece of shit lately. Everything has been pissing me off. Everything has been making me cry, making me sad. And then just dealing with the stupidity, the sheer stupidity of folk is like really getting on my last good nerve. I said that I was not going to allow people to have access to my peace in 2026, and god damn it, I am trying my hardest not to allow that to take place. Some days, though, one of the 15 personalities takes over, and it's just like, nope, we're going to be the entire problem today. Hashtag Operation Scorched Earth. And that's really where it's been the last few days, like I said. I have been spending a significant amount of time thinking about the past, thinking about things that I would have liked to have done differently. I really don't have any regrets per se, because everything that has happened brought me to where I'm at in my life now. One of the biggest triggers that happened, though, was I found pictures of the house that burned down, like the before and after pictures, and just looking at that time period and then seeing pictures of me from that time period and realizing that I was such a different person back then. Like, yeah, I was really self-involved and living the the Southern California like lifestyle of live fast, die young, leave a beautiful corpse type situation, and going to college and partying and doing all the things that college kids do. But also looking at who I was at that time period and like realizing, my God, I thought I was fat back then and I looked that good in comparison to what I look like right now. And just the wisdom of age is really something. And when I was little or younger, I hated it when I would hear people use the phrase "youth is wasted on the young," and it's like, well, yeah, that's kind of how things work there, Benjamin Button. It doesn't go backwards. But I now understand the phrase so much more clearly, because when you turn 40, your whole world changes. Like, each decade is an entire change in who you are. So think of it in these terms. Like, when you turn 5, I know that being 5 is not a decade, but still, like, when you turned 5 and you, like, got to start going to kindergarten or preschool, like, you felt like you were a big kid. And then when you turned 10, that was huge, because now you're in the double digits, and I'm a 10-year-old and blah blah. And then you turn 15, and 15 is a huge milestone for a lot of people across different cultures and stuff. Then you turn 18, and it's like, yeah, now I'm an adult. And it's like, well, you're no more of an adult at 18 than what you were at 15, except for now you can legally be drafted into the military, and that's really about it. And then you turn 21, and it's like, yeah, now I'm like a full card carrying member. Like, I'm an actual adult now. Like, I can drink, and I can do all these other things. Not that you don't drink when you're a teenager or whatever, but still, you know what I mean. And then you turn 25, and at 25 you're just like, yeah, this is the best part of my life, blah blah. You still have some contact with, like, your high school friends, but now you're starting to get into that, like, early adulthood drama of, like, dating in the real world, and you're probably not living with your parents anymore, though this generation is a little bit different, but just bear with me on this tyrant. And so you're 25, you're feeling like you're a little bit older, a little bit more sophisticated, you're probably in college or working, and then 30 hits you, and it's like, what the fuck just happened? And so you go through this entire new metamorphosis during your 30s. Like, 20s is learning about who you are without mom and dad. 30 is learning about who you are in the world. 40 is that, shit, I'm 40 years old, and looking at the dating pool, like, I can date your dad, or I could date you. That kind of mentality, or, date your mom or date you, whatever. And then as you're, like, experiencing 40, all of the goddamn check engine lights came on pretty much 35 onward. But at 40, you're now like, okay, I need to, like, really start buckling down and figuring shit out. And, like, hopefully you've been working this whole time. You have been fortunate to have a job that you have some kind of investment in, and you might even be at that point in your life where you are thinking about buying a house and all that other stuff. And then 50 is having adult money, but now having the ability to kind of hang out and do the things that you wanted to do in your 30s and 40s, but you were working your ass off. And so, like, each decade is a different milestone, and I'm not the same person at 45 as I was at 35. Like, there are parts of me that are still the same person because of my dissociative identity disorder, and, like, one of the multitude of personalities that have sprung forth from that. But, I just keep looking at all of these different little milestones and it's just like, what the fuck? So, yeah, just looking at these pictures really has stirred the shit pot. It really has. And, exposed wounds that I thought were healed. And I talked to my therapist yesterday about it, and I was like, look, this is what's going on. I'm having a really hard time, like, differentiating from the past to right now. Um, I'm homesick for a place that doesn't exist anymore, which is the biggest fuck you. And I wrote about this on my personal Facebook page, and I also wrote about this in the blog. But, you know, I sometimes wonder if I should have come to the Pacific Northwest or if I should have just continued on to uh, Philadelphia or Salem, Massachusetts or New Orleans or what. I never meant to come to the PNW and put down the roots that I did, but here I am almost 19 years later this November, and I feel stuck and I feel trapped. And the first year and a half, probably the first year to 3 years that I lived here, I really wanted to return to California, but just didn't do so. And I kind of wonder what would have happened had I returned to California, Um, During that time period, my grandmother was still alive, my dad was still alive, and I could have been there as a caregiver for my grandmother. And I could have fought to keep my grandmother out of nursing homes, which she never wanted to go into. And I could have been there helping my mom with my dad in his later, well, not later years because he died at 57. But, as he was progressively getting more and more sick, I could have helped her with that. I could have helped take him to the doctors. I could have helped more around the house. Just do shit to make life a little easier on her and him both. Um, and, I could have stepped back into my life really easily. At that point, I would have only been gone a maximum of 3 years. And, that's enough time to be away that your presence is missed, but not enough time for your presence to have been completely forgotten. And, I keep thinking about, like, there's a part of me that has that whimsical flight of fancy of like, oh yeah, I could go back and just step back into my life and do this, that, or the other thing. And realistically, though, there's 18 years of separation between me and my friends, so I couldn't do that. So this is all just stuff that I've been talking over with my therapist and just kind of feeling blah about lately. And also just feeling trapped. Like, I want to make moves, I want to do things, I want to travel, I want to do, all the things, but I feel trapped. Financially, I'm trapped. Physically, I'm pretty trapped because I don't have the strength and the stamina to do some of the things that I wanted to do. Even though I am trying to get back to that, even though I'm swimming daily, like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm swimming. And I'm starting to walk a little bit more at night and trying to build up my strength. And I'm going to physical therapy, which I'll get into that in a second. But, like, there's all these things that I am wanting to do, but just cannot do. And my sister told me last night, which kind of pissed me off, that I need to really start thinking about possibly moving over to where she lives because there's more opportunity, there's more whatever, and I could maybe get into low income housing there. I'm like, well, I could get into low income housing here if low income housing was available and if I really wanted to move. It I'm established here. I don't have friends where she lives. I don't want to be established over where she lives. I have my little routines. Even though I'm mildly done with my routines, I still have them. It's my familiarity. It's my whatever. And like, why would I want to move 30 miles in the opposite direction of all the places that I go on a monthly basis? You know, I'm close enough to the ferry terminal to get to Seattle. It's about 30 or 40 miles from me. So if I moved to where she lived and I needed to get to Seattle, I'm now having to figure out how to get almost 60 miles or 60 plus miles just to get to the ferry terminal that takes me over to Seattle. Not that I go to Seattle all that often, especially by myself, but at least I have the option of doing so a lot easier than not. And the town that I live in has a ferry system that goes over to another city that I absolutely love it over there. And honestly, if I had to move anywhere, I would love moving there. But I just don't want to move right now. And I don't know if I covered this at all in any of my other things, but I did apply for Habitat for Humanity and found out that I'm too poor to qualify for it. And I was like, how the fuck is that even a probability? Like, they told me that if I can make X number of dollars more a month, that I would qualify, and that through that qualification, once I applied for all the grants and stuff, that the money that I currently make would be enough to pay for everything and do all the things that I need to do. And I said, well, that just sounds like extra steps. Why not just approve me for what I have right now, instead of putting me in jeopardy with all of the financial support systems and just things that I have going on right now. Like, that makes no sense to me, but whatever. And I know that the time is going to come when I have to move, not because I want to, but because I have to. And I don't know what that's going to look like for me. Maybe at that point I decide, okay, well, I no longer want to stay in the Pacific Northwest, and maybe I move back east. Or maybe I move down south. Or maybe I go back to California. Or maybe I try Las Vegas. Or something like that. I really do not want to move into the lower 48, let alone the desert part of the 48. I could see myself staying in the upper 48, and especially like East Coast, Maine, Vermont, Connecticut, upstate New York, maybe even Michigan or Minnesota, Iowa, or not Iowa, that whole area, like the Great Lakes area. But I don't know. So, yeah, all of that, moving along. I got myself a new toy over the weekend, and I've been enjoying that. I got myself a turntable, and it's by Ion Audio, and it is a conversion table, so you can play records on it, or you can hook it to your computer and transfer your records to MP3. And so I picked it up at a thrift store for what was it? $5.50. Brand new, mind you. Um but it had the RGB cables for speakers, which I was like, why the fuck would you do this? But so I went on Amazon and I found a set of RGB cables that went to a 3.5 headphone jack, and picked that up for $4 or $5. And I have a multitude of Bluetooth speakers laying around the house that have auxiliary ports on it. So I plugged it into there, so I didn't have to buy myself a whole new set of speakers also. And I went to a thrift store today and got myself a couple of records. I got Johnny Mathis, One Fire, Two Guitars, and then I got Herman Kablenoff and the Kablenoff Strings, songs from greatest films, songs from Moulin Rouge, Gigi, Wild is the Wind, Sayonara, the song of Raintree County, love theme from A Farewell to Arms, Very Precious Love, Terry's theme, Three Coins in the Fountain, Tammy, Moonglow, and the theme from Picnic, and Friendly Persuasion on High Fidelity Customs by Mercury Records. I think, yeah, Mercury Records. So picked that up for 50 cents. And then I got another album that is Johnny Mathis on Columbia, guaranteed high fidelity. And it's Johnny Mathis's Open Fire, Two Guitars, and it has I forgot how to read cursive. Tenderly, Open Fire, I concentrate on you. In the still of the night, I'll be seeing you. I'm just a boy in love. You'll never know. Please be kind. Embraceable you, my funny Valentine. When I fall in love, and Bye Bye Blackbird. And then I got Sony James, Roses Are Red. And this is on a Pickwick 33 by Capitol Records. And the songs on here is Roses Are Red, Only the Lonely, Wake, Wake Up to Me Gentle, Born to Be With You, Hawaiian Wedding Song, 68 Rock Island, 68 Rock Island Line, She Will, I Know, I Fall to Pieces, and Out of This World. And they have the most delightful, musty, old basement smell too, which is kind of off-putting, but at the same time, like, gives you that retro vibes, just like, okay. And then I got another one that's on Seraphim Records, and it's The Great Voices of the Century, a priceless anthology from the Golden Age. And I'm not even going to begin to try to say some of these people's names, because a lot of them are Italian. But it was recorded from 1902 to 1944. And so I'm really kind of looking forward to this one, because I love classical music. And it's only a mono pressing, which is interesting. But it says, some of the great recordings of the past, discs that were engineered marvels in their day, to be sure, but which hold a great value, musical interest that never will die. They can turn back the aureole pages of history in a way that is thrilling to the heart and to the true music lover. Harold Rogers in the Christian Science Monitor. Interesting. So, yeah, got a couple of records, and I've just really been enjoying listening to the scratchy vinyl, like, of the LPs. So I'm going to be collecting more records. I wish I had my dad's record collection, because he had like some serious classic rock bangers like Led Zeppelin, Thin Lizzy, ZZ Top. I think he had an AC/DC one. That might have been too new for him, but I know he had some Cosby, Still, Nash, Earth, Wind and Fire, some Rolling Stones, stuff like that. I think he also had some Stevie Ray Vaughan, if I'm not mistaken. I know he loved Stevie Ray Vaughan, and whenever I hear Pride and Joy, it's like my dad is right there with me, because he always used to sing that song to my mom. He would always be like, "She's my sweet little baby, she's my pride and joy," and just the twanginess of blues. He was a huge music lover, and I think that's where I get it from. That, and he was able to play guitar and stuff like that. I'm the only person in my family that cannot play a musical instrument. Like, I'm Patrick on SpongeBob. I was like, "Is mayonnaise an instrument?" Like, that kind of fool. When electric music and techno started coming out, like, that was my jam. I could put stuff together and compose music and, like, listen to how, like, say, Alice DJ had her Thumpa Thumpa, and then, like, blend that smoothly into, like, Sandstorm, or any of those early 2000 technos. And so I have an ear for that, and I can compose music, put it together that way, or splicing music. I'm sorry, not composing, because even though I at one time knew how to read sheet music, I can't do it anymore, and I don't know, like, how to go, "Oh, well, we need to go from B sharp to E flat to this and that," and, like, compose it that way. Like, I wish I had that knowledge, but I don't. So just yeah, a little rant on music. But anyways, guys, I feel like I am taking up too much of your time with this podcast, so if you've listened this far, thank you so very much. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them in the comments section down below, and let me know what kind of music you like to listen to, and if there are any records I should kind of keep my eye open for. And yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. So yeah, thank you so much, and I will talk to you all later. Remember, you are doing the best you can with what you have available to you. And in a world full of Karens, be somebody who cares in the world. And if you are a member of the LGBTQIA2+ community, welcome. You are loved. You are welcomed here. This is a safe space. And the world is better with you in it. Okay, guys, until next time, bye. Beep, boop.
Hey you! Tired of mental health books that feel like homework or therapy sessions in disguise? Carpe Diem Scroto is not that book. Written by author Michael Peterson, utilizing his own personal mental health journey, it's your daily dose of clarity, humor, and healing, designed to meet you exactly where you are. Whether you're sipping coffee in chaos or taking a quiet minute for yourself, this book gives you real, raw tools to reframe your day, your mindset, and your life. Unlike anything else on the market, Carpe Diem Scroto blends personal storytelling, practical mental health strategies, and a keep-it-real attitude that makes self-work feel like self-empowerment. Use it daily, share it with a friend, or grow at your own pace. Ready to reclaim your day with bite-sized brilliance? Head to www.cdsthebook.com to grab your copy or learn more.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You have been listening to Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson. Please make sure to check back often as new episodes are released bi-weekly. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to send a message to hellocupcakeitsme@gmail.com. And until next time, stay happy, safe, and keep doing the best you can with what you have been given.